And I think a really simple example is concealer.
Uh,
You're wearing concealer because you're tired, you have bags under your eyes,
yeah.
you just feel you feel like you need to like hide something. If
Right.
you look at the root cause, like, okay, maybe you have a newborn, I can't fix your sleep right away.
Right.
But looking at using products that like help reduce that inflammation, that puffiness, that tiredness. Look at products that like work with your skin, have natural ingredients, aren't layering more toxins on your body.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. I'm Insia and this is the Muslim Marriage Clinic. If you're new here, this is where we talk about the things that Muslim wives think about at 2 a.m. and cannot say it out loud. Today, I have with me a dear friend, CJ, who has spent a lot of her time not just being married, but talking about her experience and her lived experience of who she is and how she can add value from wherever she's coming. CJ, please introduce yourself, and I want to thank you for joining us, for sharing this side of you today.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. All right. So I'm CJ. I am a revert. I came to Islam, 14 years ago now, probably. I don't even quite remember time. It's weird. I'm married to a Bengali. So revert, married to a Bengali, into a Bengali family. I live in the US, so we moved to the States, have 2 kids, a 5 and a 7-year-old, and I have been public in the public space for about 7 years, talking about clean beauty and talking about how to take care of ourselves and our bodies in a way that honors us as women and moms, but also in a way that we take the best care that we can of this body that's not really ours to begin with.
Right. I like how you said you're married into a Bengali family and missed the big detail that you're Dutch.
Oh, yes. I'm from the Netherlands. Yes. Gosh.
And that's how much married you are, right?
Yes.
That
I am, I'm getting more Bengali every day.
right. And just very quickly touching on that, I think just coming from different cultures, I think a lot of our audiences are there. I know there's not one shoe size that fits all, but in terms of you marrying into another culture, how did you decide what parts of the culture is shareable, drop some things that need to drop? And I think then the other question that I want to come to is your embracing of Islam and how you navigated that journey along with a full-time relationship.
Yes. I think very early on, I tried to figure, because I lived in Bangladesh. I lived in Bangladesh by myself and experienced the culture and the religion. And I think very early on, I tried to kind of decipher what was Islam and what is culture, and
Mm.
really cling on, especially as a convert, like really cling on to what is this religion and what is pure and comes straight from Allah, and what is not, like things like traditions in weddings and just things like that that are don't necessarily have anything to do with our faith. So really early on, trying to figure out, okay, this is distill what is Islam and what is culture. And of course, picking up the things that we love about Dutch culture, Bengali culture, American culture, but also leave the things that are just not in line with how I want to live my life.
Right. Two things that come to my mind when you talk about embracing Islam. I know that there's some things that you have shared publicly as well about being a revert and how that journey has been. But if you look back at when you started and where you are today, if there was a sister who's married, revert, navigating both change in culture, change in orientation in terms of faith and practice in such a big way, what would you say anchored you and what would you say kept you on your toes?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I think what always anchored me has been the belief that this is the right path. I just had an unshakable belief that wherever I was and however, like, I didn't start wearing hijab right away. I mean, I was still wearing skirts and dresses, and like, it took a long time. But wherever I was, I knew that I was on the right path, and Allah would meet me wherever I was. So I think that was kind of what anchored me. And I think, and this is what I hear from any Muslim really, is that how a community can keep you on that path or can take you away because communities aren't always welcoming. And I remember in my first years, and this is not just for converts, but just moving into a new city, trying to find a new community, I had a really hard time finding connection with the people at the masjid and the people that I was meeting, which makes it hard because you think, okay, wait, this is Islam and these people aren't taking me into the fold, or they're not welcoming me, which can be hard, right? Is this the way everyone in the religion is? Or
Right,
is it just an unfortunate group of people that I've encountered?
right.
And
And
you'll find your community. They're
right.
out there.
What I'm hearing is that you're saying that there will be these dips, and there will come these moments where you'll question your decision in a very deep way. But I think that inner belief, that unshakable belief that you have in Allah, really anchors you and helps you navigate those lonely moments, those confusing moments, those that shape the identity of the community sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Another question, and I mean, the work that I've been doing largely has been related to supporting Muslim women in their marriages, and I feel like we need to talk about the things that sometimes there's no space for. And I'm again grateful to you that you're sharing these parts and taking a little bit more care in helping everyone who's hearing this. So a lot of times in marriages, of course, we have in-laws and your own family. And I get this question a lot, which is why I think you're one of the most appropriate people to answer this. That when there's a difficult situation with your husband's not being the best. He's not in his wisdom. There is this inhibition that if I talk about my husband's lowness or weakness to my family, they will see Islam differently.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very lonely place to be. Like, you're already struggling in one aspect of your marriage, or you're struggling in one thing, and you also don't feel safe in the safety that you had with your own family. More than have you ever experienced it, how do you think we need to deal with this better? Because I think a lot of women are going through it.
Right. Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know. I think my parents, yes, in the beginning, they were, of course, hesitant, and not just about like my husband and who he was, but just a whole like, okay, what is this girl doing and what's happening? But I think very early on, the six of us, so like my parents, my in-laws, me, and my husband, we were very open in our lines of communication. So like my parents and my in-laws talked to each other. It was really a joining of two families. And there were a lot of conversations where that fear was just kind of laid out open on the
Right.
table. And maybe more so, like if I look at it, maybe the moms had a little bit less of that than the dads. I feel like the dads were more like protective, but there was really an open communication on what is happening and how are these two youngsters like getting together. And I think because that communication was so open, alhamdulillah, like both parties were aware of what was happening and they wanted to set us up for in the best way that they could. Then even now, when I have frustration about, I mean, even if it's something small, like, oh, he said the car would get fixed and it's not fixed, they know that that's just my husband being my husband.
Right.
That's not, there's no like deeper, like, oh, see, you shouldn't have married a Muslim, or see, they're
Right.
all lazy, or whatever prejudice people may have.
Right. So what I'm also hearing is it seems like subhanallah very ideal situation, and how we can adapt it for those that are listening is that a certain amount of integrity and open communication from where you start to feel comfortable, not that everyone has to be on the same page. That's number one. Number two, what I'm also hearing is for those that might have or are stepping into this situation of, marrying into different cultures and, accepting Islam and embracing each other's cultures, is being okay with that you'll carry your fears. Like nobody's
Mhm.
free of those fears. It's real that you felt it. Your
Right.
parents will feel it. And I think you pointed out something that seems so much more natural, that fathers are protective. So
Yes.
not reading too much into it and letting them be the fathers, and
Yeah.
mothers being the nourishers, and seeing how they can bring the two of you together. And what felt most striking to me was you went through the discomfort of all of that. You're saying
Right.
it in a
Right.
sentence that says, we all sat on a roundtable conference and figured it out. But this was years of working together, and
Yes, it wasn't one moment. It was like baby steps, and I mean, I still remember my father-in-law calling my father, and for me from a like as a Dutch girl, that's like the weirdest nerve-wracking feeling. Like, why is my future father-in-law calling my like all these things is
yeah,
uncomfortable, and but we often come back just kind of as a family unit to the my not my parents, but in my parents' generation, they dealt with Protestants marrying Catholics, and that was the end of the world. We've
yes,
always dealt with these issues, and when you boil it down, it's not that different. And a lot of these frictions that we have are just because we're human and not because we're part of a specific religion.
right. And I didn't hear once that you felt that anyone was evil, because we
Right.
can't decide whether anyone's good or evil, anyways. But you inherently, in the conversation that we've had together, as much as we have known each other personally, I'm hearing that one thing stands out very strongly, subhanallah, and may Allah protect it for you. You are not just optimistic, but you have believe in your optimism. Like, I believed in Allah, it was unshakable. We had open communication and we went through the discomfort. There, you went through the difficult decisions in life, holding on to truth and honesty,
Mhm.
and owning only your part and not trying to take on more, because you are not going to be able to fix everyone or everyone's feelings about how they
Right.
feel. Wow, that's enlightening. MashaAllah, as much as everything.
SubhanAllah.
Okay, moving on. How does feeling good in your own skin affect how a wife shows up in her marriage? And how has that played out for you personally?
Yeah, this is mm, mainly after having kids. This is something that really became important to me. It became important to me while I was pregnant, just from a like, I want to feel good because I want this. Like, all of a sudden, you're responsible for another human, right? But being a mom and postpartum, it's hard, and it does a number on your self-esteem and your marriage and all the things. And I mean, this was not something that I got right from day one. This was also again a process of finding yourself again and finding the space in your marriage, and your marriage evolves as you have kids. But I think if you are, I mean, it's like the super cliche of putting your own oxygen mask on before your kids, right? It's
Yeah.
if you, and we all hear this, and it becomes such a boilerplate that we don't really internalize it anymore, but like, fill your own cup and take care of yourself. But I think if you are feeling good, and even if you are looking good, like, it seems superficial, but if you feel comfortable and confident in your appearance, you show up in the world in a different way.
SubhanAllah. Wow. Because I think, we as Muslim women, those who do hijab, those that stay at home, all of these tags that, I don't know if you're hearing them, usually mean we don't have to do so much for ourselves.
Mhm.
And the more I am learning and growing in my own understanding, this is not ever about being superficial. It comes from two things. One, your body being an amana, your skin being the largest organ, taking care of it. Now, with all the research and all the understanding that we have that probably the generation before us didn't have, the effect on health and wellness really and that's your work. That's
Mm-hmm.
what you do. You talk to people every day for as much time as you can, explaining to them how putting something on your skin is just not putting something on your skin. It will weigh on your internal organs, on your overall sense of well-being. CJ, how have you seen maybe a client of yours or experienced a shift in marriage simply by reclaiming a sense of self-care and beauty, if you can share that?
I mean, it's hard for me to say, like, nobody has come to me like, oh, CJ, like, my marriage is so much better because I'm washing my face. but what I have noticed, I mainly talk to women, right? Every once in a while, there's a guy who's like, is this face wash okay? We are the gatekeepers of whatever comes in our house. If we buy a shampoo, then that's the shampoo our husbands are using 90% of the time. So I
Right.
have seen these conversations where women come back to me and they're like, we're both more aware now. Like, my husband switched his deodorant because he saw what I was doing. And like, there is a little bit of like communal, like, okay, we're both trying to make better choices. And again, on the other side, it's just a confidence that I see in women not having to hide under makeup anymore, just waking up in the morning and feeling confident that their skin looks great and feels great. And that confidence, don't underestimate that, because I think if you're in a space now where you feel like you can't leave the house without foundation or whatever, that does chip away at you a little bit.
Mm. That I'm just thinking and reflecting on it, CJ, and there are two things that come to my mind very quickly. One is, this whole concept of body image, right? And as Muslims, we know that Allah created us in the way that Allah's wisdom is perfect. And a lot of the skincare, makeup, wellness is related to changing us,
Mm-hmm.
making us a certain way, a standard that's more acceptable, more
Right.
better, a supremacy concept of where you are to where you need to get better. And you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about the same thing, but what's the difference?
I think the difference is when you're looking at products that work with your skin and really, like, we've been putting so much stuff on our faces that's just not, like, it's ruining your skin barrier. It's like you're just lathering stuff on to then patch it over with makeup so you look like you have cheekbones or whatever. But I think if you're looking at, like you said, your skin is your largest organ. Your
Yeah.
skin does so much. Like, it's incredible how it protects. I mean, we're just basically
Yeah.
a bag of bones. Like, if we
Yeah.
don't have our skin, a lot of health issues like inflammation, things like, it's just, I mean, I could talk about this for hours, but I think if you're looking at taking care of your body in the best way, you have to think of your skin too, because like,
Right.
it's not about making it look any different than you are. But if you're waking up every morning with a puffy face and you feel like you need to like contour your way to whatever, just look at what you're doing and how supporting your body with better products can eliminate all of that and
Right.
just show your natural beauty the way that, yeah,
It is.
meant to show up.
Wow. And that immediately brings me to this place where, in Islam, we all have loosely understood the wisdom of Allah, and we're all unpacking it and trying to understand it better. A lot of times women will say, I don't want to look good for my husband, or I want to look good for my husband because my husband is going out, he meets a lot of women, and it's, I want to look good. it just stops there. Like, I want to look good for myself, not for my husband. I want to do it for myself, or I want to do it for him. What would you tell someone who's stuck in the only look good?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're talking about look good is secondary as opposed to feel good and feel healthy and feel full, feel better,
Mm-hmm.
or just look good, because you're not saying don't look good.
Right.
All talking
Obviously.
about that as well. But I think when it comes to skincare, when it comes to wellness, when it comes to marriage, we suddenly become about how well we are put together
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to how we're feeling about it. Because, like you said, it's just not about that superficial level.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're talking about skincare all day, and you do come across people who are just thinking about look good, or if you've been in that phase of I just want to look good, because I think there's also another big event that happens to all of us, which is motherhood. And postpartum happens too. And the effect it has on you, your body, what you put on your skin. Like, you want to go to a party, you're freshly postpartum, you want to put on makeup that may not be the most healthy, and your kid is going to lick you in your face.
Right.
And or you have a daughter who wants to start using makeup, and you're like, no, don't use it, because I myself don't know, or I
Mm-hmm.
know, and I don't want you to damage yourself. How does all of this come together?
And it's definitely a balance. Like we all like to, I don't know, play with eyeshadow and have like a
Right.
fun lipstick and stuff. But I think of a really simple example is concealer.
Uh,
You're wearing concealer because you're tired, you have bags under your eyes,
yeah.
you just feel you feel like you need to like hide something. If
Right.
you look at the root cause, like, okay, maybe you have a newborn, I can't fix your sleep right away.
Right.
But looking at using products that like help reduce that inflammation, that puffiness, that tiredness. Look at products that like work with your skin, have natural ingredients, aren't layering more toxins on your body, can slowly fix like the dark circles under your eyes. And it can be even just the ritual of, and I mean, I started this business when I had a 3-month old. I had no sleep, no time, no nothing. But just bringing it back to 5 minutes in my bathroom, washing my face, putting on a serum and a moisturizer, that really brought me back to, okay, I'm taking care of myself. It's not like I want to look like a supermodel when I walk out of this bathroom. It's just I want to do something that feels grounding and feels good and takes care of me. So I think that's where, again, like I said, once you start really looking at the kind of the root cause of why you're breaking out, or why your face is puffy, or why you're like red or have rosacea, if you tackle those things and it becomes less, then that confidence will kind of naturally come out, and you'll take care of yourself, you'll look good, you'll feel good, but you're not slathering on foundation that then again causes more inflammation or more health issues or more things down the line.
Right. Right. So, CJ, you started this when you were a new mom, right? You started this work of figuring out low tox living, and not just in skin and wellness. You also talk about low tox living in a lot of ways, but of course, your major understanding is for women and skincare and wellness. Over the years, you have also been on your journey. Your clients have also been on their journey. And you are on the place that has been Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at how all of this can add stress to your life.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, how do you keep going?
Yes, I mean, I've definitely learned a lot about just boundaries and balance, and especially, and I mean, I think this is the case with anyone who's building a business from the ground up. Those first 3-4 years can be a grind, and it's really hard to find the balance between how much time do I spend and when do I log off. So I've definitely changed the way that I show up. My life has changed too. I think the beauty of doing this work and showing up, I've always said, like, you can do whatever you want. Nobody's if you have your own business, nobody's telling you in the morning what you have to do. So it kind of ebbs and flows and it goes, but I think just the being consistent and having like a bare minimum of what you accept to
Yeah.
move your business forward is important. And just I think the biggest thing is cancel out the noise. I always, and that's something that maybe because I use Instagram for my business, I don't really doom scroll or like, I'm not really on Instagram except to do the things that I need to do to move my business forward. And I
Right.
don't really look at what others are doing too much. Just kind of stay in my own lane and do my own thing, do my thing.
Yeah. And you also sleep early and you
Yes,
exercise.
I go to bed early. I no phone after like 8. So if you text me at 8:30, you're not gonna get a response.
No matter how close a friend you are.
Right? It doesn't matter.
Yes. And I think those are also very important things to think of because I think there's another very important thing that comes to me because you're working on skincare, you're talking to people about these things, the investment of things, the emotional investment, the financial investment. And I think we had this conversation just a few days back. But again, just to broaden this up for everyone who's thinking of switching, how hard it is, how much I need to go all in, why should I change? And is it's too expensive.
Hmm.
And I always come back to this that subhanallah, I mean, I watched it very closely with my mom and her journey and so and of course my own journey. But having said that, I feel when you make a very intentional choice of spending on yourself, like that's self-care, like spending, learning about it, finding the best things to do for your skin, taking care of it long term, not just looking good in the moment, but just really honing into it. It's an expense. It's a physical expense. It's a time expense. It's a financial expense. And I feel each of it is a hurdle. Like first,
Hmm.
the resistance is I don't have the time. Then I don't have the energy. I can't figure all of this out. And then I don't have the money. And a lot of women are stuck at different stages. And you are teaching this. So, what are the barriers that come about and what is the myth really of not having enough time, not having enough energy, and not having enough money?
Hmm.
I think this is something that a lot of people feel shy about that I'm putting you out there to please share.
Right. Well, the time aspect is like, I don't know, it's a non-starter because I can do my skincare in 2 minutes. Like it really doesn't have to be complicated. We're not doing like 12-step Korean skincare routines. We're just focusing on 2, 3 products that really just give you the best results. So invest, that's also one thing. So when we hop over to the investment side, if you invest in 2 to 3 products that actually work, you'll need less products. Like in general, you need less of the product. And then you don't need to patch things up in other ways because it works. And then again, so the investment part and the energy part, the good thing about not having the energy is that there's so much, like not just me, but there's so much support out there that can help you figure it out. And I
Right.
don't think skincare is any different from eating healthy, going to the gym. I mean, I'm learning how to read Quran, like anything that's hard.
Making any intentional choice.
Any shift, any habit, anything you want to improve in your life, it's gonna take effort and it's gonna cause some pain, friction somewhere. We can't avoid it, but it's always the cost of staying where you are versus the cost of going to where you want to be, right? So,
And
and I mean, I talk to people who are like, I don't care, I'm gonna buy my $10 drugstore whatever, and I don't want to change. And that's fine. That's also the people who are like, I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm going to open up another bag of chips. Absolutely fine. But I think if you have the intention of being healthier, taking care of your body, taking care of your skin, showing up in the best way, like again, it comes back to looking good, makes you feeling good, you're showing up in a different way for your family. That comes at a price. That's just the only
Right.
way to say it, like a gym
Yeah.
membership or healthy food. It's just, I mean, subhanAllah, it's the world we're living in where it's cheaper to be miserable and unhealthy.
Right. It's cheaper to be miserable, unhealthy, make all the wrong choices. And the right choices cost you something. And that's not just the dollar that you're spending.
Right.
It's so much more. And I think that's something all of us have to reflect on. That's beautiful. Okay, we did a lot of heavy lifting. Let's go a little light and ask some lighthearted questions. Call it rapid fire, call it whatever. Just want to know a little bit more of you. Okay. So
All right. Bring it on.
no explanations, no context. Whatever comes first, that's your win, right? So tell me, you are a tea person or a coffee person?
Coffee.
Are you
100%.
are you a text or a call person?
Oh, I think I'm turning into a call person.
Okay.
Yes. Voice notes, phone calls. Yes.
Right. Kitchen or takeout on a hard day?
Takeout.
Marriage would be so much easier if only.
We stop worrying about the little things.
Oh, that's big wisdom there, dude. One myth about a good wife you'd like to delete forever.
Oh, that a good wife needs to do all the cooking and cleaning. That's
Oh, you're
yeah.
gonna make a lot of people upset. The dua you make most often.
Oh, just Allah, give me whatever is best. Like, just what's best. Just make it happen. Whatever is
Right.
best. Whatever you think is best for me.
Right. Now, love, compatibility, respect, which ranks higher in marriage that's more fulfilling and more content and more pleasing to Allah, according to you?
I don't know. I think love and I would say respect, but I think you won't like. Yeah, I don't know. Love and respect is. I don't think compatibility is like. Yeah, I think
It
that's a
doesn't even count?
no. I don't think that makes it on the list. I think if you love and respect each other, then you're good.
Okay. And what were you most afraid people would say
When? What do you mean?
whenever? Like when you were
Oh,
maybe
oh, oh, just in general.
marrying a Bengali,
Oh,
studying affiliate
I don't.
marketing, talking about skincare. What were you most afraid of what the people would say?
I don't really know. I don't. This sounds really bad, but I don't really care what people say. I
Expand
think
that a little for me.
I'm thinking like if I think about like the world, I really don't care what the world says. I think I value like my husband and my parents, and even there,
Uh, say
yeah,
it.
I don't really care.
Yeah, even with them, like you don't care about the
I
world.
Of course, I don't want to hurt anybody. Of course, I don't
Right,
want to intentionally like cause harm. But I'm
right.
also very stubborn, and I feel like if I have an idea in my head, then that's what's gonna happen.
Okay, okay.
Sorry.
I'm not going to go further into this. And just kind of closing in, what's the one thing you'd want a wife to hear tonight if she's listening to this in her car because it's the only place she gets to be alone? What's one thing
Mhm.
you would say?
Okay, so this is something that I told my friend 2 days ago, probably. I was like, choose your own happiness. And again, like, we're not intentionally hurting anybody's feelings, we're not causing harm, but I feel like you have to create your own happiness and
Right.
don't just do what you think is right.
I would just add to that right be guided in pleasing Allah,
Yes,
then
yes,
your
yeah,
happiness becomes an act of worship.
right.
Just like, you doing skincare, taking care of your body, which is an amana, is worship. Is not a lesser or a larger worship, but it's worship. And I think we don't have to magnify or minimize the effect of any form of worship. Start wherever so that you feel like you're connected, your happiness, your lived experience is one that's bringing you closer to being the best version of yourself, which will always, almost always lead to
Mhm.
pleasing Allah.
Right. And that brings us back to what I said at the beginning, right? Like if you if Islam is your path and your guidance, and everything you do, you tie back to staying on that path.
Yeah.
You don't have to care what other people say
Yeah.
because you know who you're responsible to.
Right. Wow. That's beautiful. Now, before we close in, where should people go if they want more of you?
Yeah. Oh, I just recently changed my Instagram handle, which was a very emotional process. If you know me, I'm no longer tulips and turnips. I've said goodbye. I'm just CJ Fanlit on Instagram. I don't do anything else really. I'm not on any other platform.
Okay, we'll add it in the show notes in the
Yes.
description for people to be able to follow you, to talk to you. Jazakallah khair, CJ, and to
Wayaki.
whoever's listening, if any part of this felt like it was about you, it probably was. Send it to somebody who needs to hear this and who's thinking about all of these things and these conversations. And inshallah, I'll be back with somebody else in the clinic to be able to bring more value and conversation. And I cannot thank you enough, CJ. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah,
Assalamu
wayaki.
alaikum.
Walaikum salam.